A good afternoon, good evening, good morning. It's certainly not good morning at the moment. And welcome to one and all. We're going to do the Chinwag a little bit differently today because we're going to try and do it as a live broadcast. So what could possibly go wrong? Now, I've been overwhelmed, to be honest with you, by the response to my request for people to join in. I've got a list of at least 10 people. We've got 2 or 3 lined up for the coming week, just to try and squeeze as many people in as possible before Pinfest. I've got a couple of people in the chat, which is absolutely amazing. I'm going to see if the chat works as well. It does. Look at this. Welcome all 3 of you. Thank you very much. Very, very nice to see you. Now, during my request for people to join in, I just want to reiterate this. A couple of people have said I've not been into pinball very long. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I don't care if you've got one machine, a machine on loan, you just want a machine, or you've got 50 machines and you've been playing pinball since you popped out your mummy's tummy, put it that way. Okay, it doesn't matter at all. I'm a relative newbie myself, and the whole part of this is me finding out off of other people things that I want to know about this great, fantastic hobby. Anyway, so I've got somebody with me who is from the forum, from pinballinfo.com. It's John, and John goes by the name on the forum of Jag55. Let's bring him in. John, how are you?
Chris, good to see you. Yeah, very good, thanks.
It is Jag55, right?
No, Jag555, sorry.
555. Yeah, you're a bit older than 55 then.
Yeah, exactly, a little bit older, yeah.
How are you, mate?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad at all. Thank you, my friend. Well, thanks for joining us. I think we'll start off straight away. What you got in the lineup at the moment, mate?
So the lineup at the minute, so I've got a couple of arcades. I've got a Blast City arcade and an Outrun. And then on the pinball side, I've got a Star Wars LE and a Stranger Things Pro. They're up and running in the games room. And then in the garage, in currently half stripped down, is a Big Buck Hunter Pro.
The Big Buck Hunter Pro. Right, yeah. Okay. Right then. Right, we got a lot to get into. Now, your first game, I know for a fact what your first game is, so why don't you tell us all about it? What was your first game? Is this why you got into pinball, or you got into pinball first and you bought the game?
I've always been into pinball playing growing up. Like, I was born in 78, so I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, so a lot of holidays spent at caravan sites, etc., like a lot of us collectors. So always playing pinball. Like, remember, just always kind of, playing as much as I could. Not very good. And then I've always been into video games, and then slowly I got into arcade collecting. Managed to pick up an Outrun, which is like my dream machine. Yeah. And, decided to build a games room in the garage, which we're in now. And then the next logical step for me was to get a pinball. Yeah. So I went on the forum, joined Pinball Info. I think this was back in 2017. I'm very theme driven, so I put a wanted ad up for, I think it's Super Mario Brothers, which don't laugh. That's one of the ones I requested.
I couldn't possibly, mate. I'll tell you about my first game later. Go
on. Street Fighter 2 I requested. I think it was X-Files and maybe an Indiana Jones Stern, but there wasn't much about at that point, so I didn't get anything on the forum. And then about a week later, a Street Fighter 2 popped up on eBay. So, that's it there. It was in okay condition. I went to the guy's house to pick that up. And the guy's really nice. I didn't really know too much was doing. I hired a van, obviously. And the first bit of advice, he was like, oh, you'll be able to transport it on the legs. And I was thinking, that doesn't sound like a good idea to me. So I didn't listen to that piece of nugget of advice, luckily. So, so that came home, and that was the first one. And it's a great machine. I think it's really underrated. It's very easy to understand. It's just like the video game. You go around and you complete your fighters and work your way through the game like that. Fight them and move on. So it's very easy. But I was finding like this particular one wasn't particularly very reliable, and so I started to had to fix it, and then I thought, well, I'm fixing it. Let's strip it down and give it a nice good clean and do the LEDs. But then I don't even know Street Fighter. There's a car in a lower playfield. There's a car in the playfield, lower playfield, and that's notoriously unreliable. And I just kept having loads of problems with it. And my wife was saying, like, you're fixing it more than you're playing it. And it got. And I always think, like, for me, pinball and arcade collecting, I think there's two types of people. There's and I think it's a bit like classic cars. There's people who like to drive a car, and there's people who like to fix a car, and I'm definitely one who would like to drive the car. So I decided to move on from Street Fighter 2, and I got a big buck hunter off the forum. So that was I saw that for sale on the forum, and I jumped on it, and that was just so reliable. And then so then from then on, it just kept kind of swapping them in and out, really. And
so let me stop you there if I may, John, just before we go too far. So you've got the Street Fighter, then the big buck hunter. Did you notice a big step up in quality?
Yeah, I mean, there's a massive difference. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Gottliebs are great, and I know they get a lot of stick and they're lower price than a lot of the Sterns, but actually, it was a really nice machine. But once it's got that big buck hunter, and I played that previously, it wasn't the first time I played it. So I kind of just. It's everything, just the animations and, the coding and everything's just a lot deeper. And reliability as well. It was, touch wood on that big buck. Nothing went wrong at all. It was absolutely solid, So, so just, I could tell the difference straight away. And my wife was saying, look, if it's reliable and you're playing it more, then that's what you should be looking at. So trust the wife. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's good advice. Trust the wife. So, I did notice a big difference, and then it was kind of really, time to move Street Fighter on, really. So that went on from there, and I think I picked up after I always get confused about the machine. I've been swapping them in and out so much, but I'm pretty sure after that I went for a Tron after that.
Have we got a picture? We might have a picture of your.
I think you might have a picture of the Tron, yeah.
I'm just gonna start popping pictures up here because I don't know hold on, we'll deal with that in a minute. Hold on. Oh, we got Hobbit. We need to talk about Hobbit. We definitely need to talk about Star Wars. I'm looking for the Tron at the moment. Tron.
Yeah, maybe I didn't. Yeah, it is.
No, we do. There it is. There's
the Tron. So that was actually prior to I think I'd got rid of a big buck at this as well. So I got the Tron. I'm a big fan of the film. I'd heard really good things about it. I got the Tron and I really loved it. It was great. A great machine. Got it off the forum. I mean, the guy sold to me, I think his name's Gary. It was in such great condition. Really great purchase. And I've got 3 friends they're not pinball friends in terms of they haven't got their own machines, but they love to play. So we get together about once a week, and they absolutely loved the Tron machine. Loved it.
But you've got rid of it. You got rid of that now.
Yeah. So I didn't have that for long, and surprisingly, I thought I was going to have it for a lot longer, but then Chris B popped up a Game of Thrones LE.
Yeah, lovely
show, and I've been after one for a while, and so then the Tron had to go, and so I'm limited on space here and funds as well. I need to inject the funds back in space. Yeah.
Funds. Can I just? Cause I want to pick your brain on this because I've played a whole ton of games. Did you? So obviously you're 3 friends, or you ever have a? Let me call it. I'll call it a booze up. You have a booze up and a pizza and whatnot and a game of pinball once a week. Yeah. Were they upset when you got rid of Tron?
One of them still hasn't forgiven me.
Okay.
Every possible interval he can. There's all kinds of Tron jokes and everything. He cannot forgive me for getting rid of it. But I'll get to it a bit later. But it gets better because I actually bought Tron twice. So we'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, don't worry. I've bought something twice. Don't worry.
Yeah. He's never forgiven me. I mean, he loved it. I mean, I don't know if you played Tron. It's so atmospheric. It's a great theme for pinball because it's futuristic. The lighting's great and everything. And I really loved it. I didn't have anything really. I wasn't sick of it. I was just Game of Thrones come along and I couldn't. And Chris B has some really nice machines and I couldn't really say no. So so that's what happened next. So
I do know. I mean, Tron kicks my ass, quite frankly. It's John Borg. John Borg one.
Yeah, John Borg. Yeah, got the old Borg bounce. I think they call it.
Yeah, he don't like me. He don't like me very much. I like the kindness and the gentle touch of a Steve Ritchie. If you pardon the expression, we've never met, and even if we did, I'm sure he wouldn't do that to me. But obviously you've got a Ritchie game, which we're going to get on. I'm really looking forward to discussing that actually. But obviously you've moved from a John Borg game to a Ritchie game in the Game of Thrones. It's something that I've had 2 minutes on. I want to see more of it. I actually wouldn't mind if one came up now. I'd probably go, I'd have that. How did you like the Game of Thrones?
Yeah, loved it. I mean, so I was already familiar with John Ball because he'd also done Big Buck Hunter as well. So that's a John as well. So I was familiar with that. And Tron was great, but you do get a few funny bounces off that feed into the, I think it's the left flip on that. And flipped all right. I can't remember, but you do get a funny bounce. So then I got a Game of Thrones LE, and loved it. I didn't play that before, so I bought that blind. My thinking was, if I didn't like it, I could move it on pretty quickly. But I was a big fan of the show at the time. I won't talk about the last season if anyone was a fan of it.
No spoilers.
Terrible, but loved it. I mean, it's such a great game. It's got the upper playfield on the LE. It's just a beautiful looking machine. It was just great. Yeah, really good machine. But I'm a pretty average to poor player, I think I would say. But for that one, I just clicked with it, and I was just posting really good scores on it, and which is strange because I'm not on the other game. I'm decidedly average.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Somehow it just clicked for me. Probably should have put the glass on. That might have helped, but
you're moving the ball around. You're basically flicking all the targets and stuff like that, aren't you? Flicking the spinner. Yeah, we all know that trick, mate. Stopping it from running down between the flippers. So, yay, 2 billion.
Yeah, exactly. So that was it. And then I really liked it. And if I'd had the money and the space, I think that would have stayed in the collection because it had the topper on there as well. The topper's probably. I mean, they've got the probably what you can hear in the background. I've got the R2-D2 topper on Star Wars, but I mean, I'm a big Star Wars fan. We'll get to that in a bit, I guess. But apart from that top there, I think the Game of Thrones one's really good. It's got the dragon. It goes and it also interacts with the game, like the houses light up. So it's a great topper there. So it was a great machine. But then then Star Wars come along, and that was. Just before we go on that, I just want to bring in a few people who've been kind enough. Is Wayne Holshark? Is it? Yeah, I know Holshark. Yeah. Is that? I don't know. I'm just saying, is it him? I don't know. I believe. Well, he's got the same avatar. He has. We're being infiltrated. I know a couple of fellas in here. West Ham have had a good game today, and what I do, my day job is doing West Ham videos. So we got a few of the West Ham crew. You're in prime West Ham territory. I did wonder actually. I actually support Southend United. Would you believe? So well, that's right. You said about playing pinballs in Caravan Park, not at Kings and Canvey. No, I have been there. I do know Kings and Canvey. Yeah. So no, we used to have a caravan up in Clacton actually, and used to have like a really big arcade on the site there. So it was really. Really great summer, really. We'd spend like 3 or 4 weeks down there, and we'd give them a £10 of a morning, and I'd head off to the arcade and try and make it last all day. So it's. Well, you were always, we always, because I'm from Essex originally myself, and you were always posh if you went to Clacton, as far as we were concerned. Yeah. We went to Southend or Canvey, and all the posh people went to Clacton. Certainly. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining in on the chat there. Just before we get on to Star Wars and stuff like that, I want to get your opinions on a few things that are probably going on the forum at the moment. And I think one thing that's really struck a chord with me at the moment is the demand outstripping the supply. And about the pinflation, all the rest of it, and just this sort of desperation that there is at the moment to get your hands on something. How's that been for you? Have you found that? I mean, what are your thoughts? I've got to be honest. The only machine I bought recently was the Big Buck, actually. So I bought a couple of new in box, and I guess we'll get to that in a minute. So the last second-hand machine I bought was Big Buck, and I bought it off Big Phil. I think he's in the chat. And Phil was great. I mean, I sold it to him. I think he went to Pinfest, and I think he stored it. And I've just been badgering him. Big Buck was one. I loaded it with Martin onto the lorry. Martin, the delivery driver. Yeah. Obviously, people will know. And as soon as he pulled out the drive, I instantly regretted it. I was a big fan of the theme, loved the video games, loved the game, and I really regret it. And for it's around about a 2K machine. 2.2, 2.3 for that kind of price as well. It's a really great machine. So I regretted it, and then I had a little bit of space and a little bit of spare cash. So I was badgering Phil to get it back. And I mean, Phil, good to his word, he sold it back to me, for what I paid, and he didn't need to. I was happy
nice.
to pay the going rate, and so there are some people still you know, there's some good guys on the forum.
Oh yeah.
I think I mean, what I can say is, like, I've been in arcade collecting a bit longer, and I've seen how the increase in prices there has really ruined the hobby. In my opinion, I think it's ruined it for me a little bit. You know, I don't collect arcades anymore because I just saw the greed that took over. You know, it wasn't about collectors swapping machines. It was about collectors making money on what they'd made. And you know what? I'm not you know, if that's what they want to do, that's fine. But for me, it's like, you know, I like to move things around and, you know, and be part of the community and do it that way. So, but I mean, yeah, it's just, I guess lockdown didn't help. And I think, you know, pub culture's on its way out probably. So I think a lot of them, like, doing more, you know, garden sheds. I mean, I'm in a garage now, you know, it's more people doing stuff. And you know, the obvious thing to do is a pinball. I think it's, you know, they're a lot more, if you think about like an arcade machine, you know, it's really tough to get parts from now, you know. Monitors go and you can't get replaced parts. Whereas a pinball machine, you know, you can get, you know, a 30-year-old pinball machine, you can still buy all the parts. So I think it's a great investment. But yeah, going back to inflation, you know, it's not, I mean, it's obviously out of my control, but you know, it isn't kind of nice to see in a way, because it's, you know, I feel sorry for people getting in the hobby now, put it that way, because
and it's Ryan. I actually know Ryan from the West Ham videos that I do. But honestly, Ryan, he's shown interest a couple of times. If you did want to come up, mate, because you're down in Yeovil, as I know, if you did want to come up, get in touch, pop up. I'll make you lunch and all the rest of it. You can try a couple of pinball machines and see if you like it before you go wasting any money on a hobby which is quite expensive. But the one thing I would say is you don't tend to. They hold their value, at least, and this is what we're talking about. I mean,
they do hold their value. I think, like, you know, I'd avoid. I mean, my advice for that. I mean, I'm no expert. I've only been in the hobby since 2017. But my advice is, like, you know, and I bought it off my first machine come off eBay, but I'd try and avoid eBay if you can. I think there's loads of good people on the forum, you know, and you can still pick up decent machines, and that's what hit the nail on the head there. You can still, you know, spend a bit of money, but it's, you know, it's as good as having it in the bank, really, as long as you take care of it. You know, you're more or less going to get your money back, and you're going to have some fun along the way. But, you know, things are steadily creeping up, and I hope for everyone's sake it kind of calms down a little bit. You know, it's all very well. I mean, you know, if you've got a few machines, you're probably thinking, it's great, but unless you're getting out of the hobby, you're going to end up paying on the other end anyway. You know, so it's.
Well, or if you've sold the one that you had and you're just desperate to have a machine and you want to play something, you're thinking, well, I'm priced out of this now. I literally can't buy a machine to play.
That's a really good point. Yeah, if you're taking a break, you know, everyone was, you know, lockdown was difficult on everyone. You know, say you cashed in for over a lockdown and then now you're ready to go in again. You're probably looking at prices thinking, bloody hell, like, you know, I'm probably 25% down on what I'd sold for. So yeah.
Well, it is an addictive hobby, John. It's not like you can think, oh well, don't worry about that. I'll go and play golf instead. If you're addicted to pinball, you're addicted to pinball. It is an addiction. I don't care what anyone says.
It's almost like, you know, I play a lot of video games. I'm a big video game guy as well. But, you know, games are like 40, 50 quid. You know, you swap them in and out. You know, pinballs are thousands of pounds. You know, so you get a bit bored and you want to try something else out. That's why I think Pinfest and, you know, all the other, you know, Tilt in Birmingham and Chief Coffee and, you know, those places are important because you can rock up, you know, Chief Coffee I go to quite a bit. You can rock up there, you know, have a nice coffee and play like, you know, 8 or 10 of the newest machines, you know, and try them out, you know. So I think that's, you know, it's really important.
Well, that's the first time I played Attack from Mars, believe it or not, was in Chief Coffee. I never played it when it was sort of new. So the first ever Attack from Mars I played was a remake. And I met Dave there, M4 Carp, and I met him down there, and wow, okay, this was a great machine. There were a few machines there actually. So that was Ghostbusters was there, Wonka was there, Jurassic Park was there, Medieval Madness, Cactus Canyon. The Medieval Madness wasn't working properly at the time, which was
it wasn't when I went there either. Actually, yeah, I think he's had a few problems with that one because that's been out for a little while. I think I've seen it once working, so yeah. But you're right. I mean, you can play a lot of games there, and you know it's, you know, £1 a play or £2 for free go. So it's, it's really reasonable to go and play some games as well.
Take 20 quid in there and knock yourself out, so to speak. Yeah, Chris P was there as well from the forum, actually.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's good. I mean, that's something. It's such a great social thing. It's I play when I'm on my own here, but it's I've got to be honest. I don't play nearly as much as like I was. On your other two chats with Andy. I think it was the other guy, Simon. Was it? Is it Simon?
No, Scott. Yeah. He's in the chat. He's in the chat.
Yeah. So they were talking about how much they play, and I was like, I was thinking, Christ, like it's I really struggle to find the time to do it. I mean, I've got a young family and run a business as well, so time's always of an essence. But but when we get together once a week, it's great. It's such a great social thing. So I mean, I'd recommend it to anyone really if you've got the space and a bit of spare cash. I think it's a great hobby.
Oh no, certainly it is. I think also pinball taps into that. It taps into that sort of primal instinct of catching a ball, right? So, and I think I don't mean to be sexist. I do think it's a boys thing. Don't get me wrong. I know plenty of girls that love playing pinball. My daughter would be one of them, by the way. But it was basically hitting a ball quickly, hitting a ball hard, catching a ball, targets, flashing lights, music, all packaged in this beautiful box that basically has stickers of everything that you love on the side of it.
Yeah.
I think
you summed it up perfectly there. That's it, isn't it? Like it's for me. I mean, being a big like video game guy, it's like the difference between that is it just feels a bit more. It's a bit more physical. I feel like things. I don't know how things are going to turn out sometimes. Especially the way I play as well. So it's.
No, you don't. I was on a bit of a roll. I was on a bit of a roll last night, and I thought I was so close to thinking, do you know what? I'm going to get the camera out. I'm going to beat my high score. And I'm actually so it's Mr. Sinister. I called it Dr. Sinister before. It's Mr. Sinister. And I think I'm actually going to start a series called Finding Mr. Sinister, and I think I might actually, until I get there, record my attempts. Not massive ones, just little 10-minute games of trying to get to Mr. Sinister. I think might be. These such in my low expectations of pinball, but I've got a Star Wars coming on a 3-month loan.
Yeah,
starting should be coming next week probably. You have a Star Wars, and you tend to bat away quite a lot of stick about Star Wars on the forum.
I think I give Neil something to talk about. I think with Star Wars, I think he'd be pretty bored. I don't think he'd come on the forum unless he could talk about Star Wars. So,
we'll ask Neil why he doesn't like Star Wars. That's fine. That's because Neil will be hopefully coming on this week as well. Okay. Why does it get the stick? Why does it get the stick that it gets?
So, if I tell you about my experience with it, I mean, please. So I'm a massive Star Wars fan. Always been growing up. Love it. I've got a lot of Star Wars art here. Always been a big fan. And the pinballs that come before, I didn't. They're not great to be honest. The other ones, Data East one's okay, I guess. But I was kind of moving away from older machines. So anyway, in Southend Pier, there's an arcade on the Southend Pier, and the guy who owns it is a huge Star Wars fan, and he had this bit in the arcade in Venture Island, but it's just under the pier. He's got a Star Wars LE on location, which I find crazy. I mean, why'd you put an LE on? I don't know why you wouldn't. Anyway, so I put a pound in, I have a go. Absolutely hated it. I thought this is like, and at the time I think I still had Game of Thrones and probably still a big buck. Maybe the Hobbit actually I had at that point, but I hated it, absolutely hated it. And then I come away and I was like, telling my friends, I played this today, it was rubbish. And I went up there the week after, and I thought, okay, Joe, I'm going to give it one more try. I put a pound in, hated it a bit less, and then it just went on from there. I probably paid it, maybe once a fortnight for about 6 weeks, and about 6 months, and then got to the end. I was just loving it. Every time I was playing it, I was loving it even more. So then I spoke to Phil at Pinball Heaven and said, and I really liked the artwork on the premium out of all of them. Even more than the LE. It's so the art on the premium's like the Hoff. So it's got
is that the one you've got?
No, so I've got an LE.
Right,
so I spoke to Phil and he said, you can order premium, but he said actually I've got an LE in stock and I can do you a deal. And I was like, fantastic, let's go. So got it home and
let me find it. Yeah, there it is.
And it's I just love it. I just really love it. I mean the IP is all there, all the call outs, all the clips from the films. I mean it is a little bit stripped down, if I'm honest. It is, it hasn't got a ton of toys in there, but I think the license has probably cost them so much that to make it work, they've had to strip things back. But the coding is just out of this world. I mean, it's and I'm not an expert on it by any means. I know most of the modes, but it's just a great game. I love it. I love the IP. It goes very well in my room. And unless I was getting out the hobby, I can't see that being moved on, to be honest. And another thing I find is my friends love it as well. They haven't got their own pinballs, but they kind of play. They love that game too, and it's
these are your Tron friends.
Yeah, the Tron friends.
Okay.
Yeah, friends even after I sold Tron, believe it or not. Yeah,
they've let it go. So they don't mind you've got.
I wouldn't say let it go. They do remind me every opportunity, but they've sucked it up to come around and play my game. So
do they say things like, "John, I'll see you later, Tron," and things like that?
See you later. Yeah, exactly. That.
Yeah, naughty. Yeah, very naughty. Tell me what have I got to look forward to? What sort of game is it?
I think it's very code driven, very mode driven, and the modes are time limited as well, so make it quite difficult. But it's got some great you've got a video mode in there, video game mode. We use the flippers to control the Millennium Falcon for an asteroid field. The movie clips are unbelievable. The sound, everything's just great on it. So I think you're in for a real treat. And the only thing missing from the Pro to the Premium and LE is the Hyperloop. I think that's the only thing. But so that's the wire form that comes around near the front, right? Comes around, so it's hit by magnets. I mean, it's a tough shot, to be honest. It is a real tough shot. But once you hit it, I haven't played every machine by any stretch, but from the machines I've played, it's probably the best shot in pinball, I think. Once you hit it.
Oh, hello. The best shot in pinball.
That's a 555 exclusive. Yeah,
Okay. Why not?
Yeah,
do you know what? Actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do, John. That is going to be a new category. I should have asked the other fellas. We'll find out. We'll get it back on. Best shot in pinball. Best shot in pinball. Yeah, my opinion, it's the Star Wars Hyper. Got to be. Okay, all right. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. So I couldn't tell you. Maybe that's one of Scott's magic pinball moments. A pinball moment, as he said. I don't know. I've not done it yet, so I wouldn't know. However, I see a shot that I miss. I really miss it. Have you played Judge Dredd?
I haven't. No, actually, that's one I haven't.
Okay. Well, there's a sniper shot in it. I think it might be called the Sniper Tower shot. Excuse me. I like it because it's long. Right, firstly, it's the length of the playfield. I think there's something quite gratifying about a really long shot, because it's got to travel.
You get like
it is. You feel like you've had a bit more to do with it. I think you feel like you've aimed it a little bit more, and there's a certain tension towards it because when you hit it, it goes. So in the DMD, there's a sequence where basically you're a sniper on top of the tower, and you've got to take people out. So it's got this little crosshair on the screen. It's quite graphic and all that business, right? So there's a time limit on it. So the old heart's pumping. I've got to hit this sniper shot, and I don't know what it is. It's just something about that. It makes you feel like the sniper. And I actually missed that shot. It's a very, very good shot. I don't know if I'm going to call that the best shot in pinball. I haven't played enough yet, but it's a very, very good shot. I'll give it that.
Yeah, no, I agree with those. Longer shots are much better, and that's what the Hyperloop is. Right,
is it?
There's like a fork ramp that comes up, and it's tight shot. It's really tight. So once you hit it, you're like, yeah, done well there. It feels nice.
Okay, so have you got anything? Because Mandalorian's out. You're clearly a huge Star Wars fan. Does that mean you're a Mandalorian fan? Are you looking to do something on that?
Yeah, massive Mandalorian fan as well. I think they did a great job of it. I mean, we've been through the meal like with Star Wars with episode 1, 2, and 3. I guess it's not being the greatest film, so I think Mandalorian's really brought it back for me. So I've got an LE on order with.
Okay. Oh, do you know what you said there? Okay, brilliant. Yeah. Yes.
That should be that will be coming. I think Phil's actually emailed me last night, so it should be coming the week after next, I believe. I think it lands.
And you did invite me over, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I've invited you. Yeah, that's fine. You come over and do a tour.
I'd love to, mate. I'd love to. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's good. If I may, The Hobbit. Now, The Hobbit is. Don't get me wrong. I love Star Wars, but if there's something I love more than Star Wars, it's actually Lord of the Rings. Tolkien. And I don't just mean the films. I've got Tolkien books. I've got the History of Middle Earth on the bookshelf. I've got the Silmarillion. I'm a bit of a Tolkien. In fact, I can't. You know what? Sod's law. I can't actually reach them now. Look, I was going to say, funny up. There's usually not, not a bit of Lord of the Rings memorabilia. They always say you're within 6 foot of a rat, right? That's what they say. Yeah. I'm always within 6 foot of some Lord of the Rings memorabilia or a Tolkien book, right? So the Hobbit is a theme that really appeals to me. Tell me a little bit about the Hobbit, if you wouldn't mind.
So so I skipped a little bit actually because so the Hobbit is my first new in box. Star Wars was my second. I got rid of Tron. I'd got Game of Thrones, and then I had Game of Thrones, and then Phil was doing this great deal on the Hobbit. Now that again like you, I'm a massive Tolkien fan as well, and just really like the look of the Hobbit. I really like the theme, love the films. Not as good as Lord of the Rings, but they are great films. And so Phil was doing a deal, and so I thought, that would be my first new box. Luckily, I had some spare cash, so took the plunge with that, and really loved it. I mean, it's an absolute beast. It's like it weighs about, I think it's something like 175 kilos. So it's to set it up. It's like just an absolute beast. It's just not easy, and it's wide, and there's not a huge amount going on the playfield. There's some pop-ups. There's like trapdoors, and they get like goblin and a demon and something else.
Like Medieval Madness.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, pop up like that. So, and then there's a great multi-ball. It was my first Jersey Jack pinball, and I know they've been getting a lot of stick on Guns N' Roses lately, but I've got to be honest, that Hobbit was solid for me. I didn't have one problem. I think I had one issue with the one of the wireforms wasn't returning right, and I just had to bend it myself. But that was it. Apart from mechanically and like electronically, it was sound, So, so I got the Hobbit, and I loved it. I mean, the noise, everything about the music, it's just like different level. Like it's got the bigger LCD screen. It's what size it was, maybe like 17-inch or something, probably a bit bigger. And it's just so immersive. But I just found myself like after a while. So after about a year of having it, like kind of gone into the second year, I was just finding I was playing other things more. I'd be coming in here with my mates, and we'd have one go on the Hobbit, and some of the ball times are just ridiculous. Like you could be on there for like 40 minutes, and then you look at your score, and you're like, I haven't done anything. I've spent 40 minutes here, and I've hardly scored. And that might be my ineptness at pinball, to be honest. But I just was finding it a real like wading through treacle, basically sometimes. And as much as I love the interactiveness of it and everything, I was finding, like I said, we would all of us come out here before us. We'd just keep doing 4-player games on Game of Thrones or Tron or, the other machine that we had, basically. So, so I decided to move that on after that. And, move on to, and actually that was, move that on, and then Stranger Things come. That was after that.
I think when you're actually, I'll talk to you. So you've got Stranger Things now. You said that, did you?
Yeah, right,
I'll talk to you about that. I'll talk to you about that in a second, actually.
Yeah.
Will you talk about it? Well, firstly, talking about your mates coming round and all the rest of it. If there's 4 of you round there, last thing you need is 40-minute ball times. Ideally, someone's on for 5 minutes, and the next person, there's the next person. Bit of banter going on. When you say the immersive nature of it, I take it you mean the way it cuts in with the film scenes and the way that cuts in what you're doing and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. I mean, the cut scenes of the film, like, it's got a shape. I mean, I had the Black Arrow edition, so it's got the shaker in there. But I mean, just the sound coming out of that Jersey Jack was unbelievable. Like, I mean, the sound in the Sterns are great, but the Jersey Jack, that Hobbit it just washes over the sound. And when the shakers go and everything, it's just nothing better. But the modes are very similar. It'd be, this mode, shoot this. I know that's kind of what most modes are built on, but there wasn't enough variety for it. And I mean, if you played it, like if you're a big Tolkien fan and you like the Hobbit the film, I think you're gonna initially absolutely love it, because I did. I'm a Tolkien fan. I love the Hobbit film. Initially, I loved it. And all my friends did as well. When he hit the dragon multi-ball, it's just unbelievable. The shaker's going, and it's like real adrenaline rush. But you start to realise that after a while, that's kind of all that's there. You got the pop-ups and stuff. I mean, there'd be loads of people that disagree with me, and that's what's great about pinball. We don't all like the same stuff. But
thank God, otherwise we wouldn't be selling every of our pinballs.
no, exactly, no. So
yeah,
it just run its course, to be honest. For me, I love having it. Glad I bought it. Didn't regret buying it. But for me, it just run its course. And then, I've kind of played Wonka. I played Wonka at Chief. Didn't really like that. Thought that was a bit diluted, actually. And then, obviously, I'm not a big Guns N' Roses fan anyway, so that wouldn't appeal to me. I'm a big theme guy, so the theme needs to appeal to me first, and then the game. I know some people are the other way around. They prefer the game over the theme, but for me, I don't like the theme. I don't want it in here. I don't want to be looking at something I'm not interested in.
Well, I've got to tell you, so my friend John sent me a video last night of his Guns N' Roses, and he's completely blown away by it. And it does look sensational. Now, to be fair to him, I think he's given it to Chris first. So Chris B he's given it to him first. So Chris B's done whatever needs to be done with a post. Don't ask me. I don't know all that stuff.
No, I don't either. I'm not like I've got a friend on here on the forum who's got one. I'll chat to him on WhatsApp, and he's been telling me some of the issues, but I'm not following the thread that much or anything. So,
well, to be fair, why would you if you haven't got a Guns N' Roses? Because it's basically where to put nuts and bolts. So it's not an entertaining read, and it's a bit of a shame that it's gone that way, really. So I was just crying out for someone to say, I've beaten my high score. Look at this multi-ball. Look at this. So he sent me this video last night. The lights are flashing. The balls are bouncing everywhere. I thought, wow, that's pretty sensational. And I'm not prepared to write that or anything else off yet. I'm a massive Spike 2 convert. Let me just put that out there first. And my next purchase will probably be a Spike 2. That being said, the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen in my life in terms of pinball was that. Was it the yellow brick roads, Wizard of Oz?
Yeah,
it was already. Yeah, I mean, it was just.
I think it did a couple. I think it did a ruby red as well. And
yeah.
The last one, it was. I know it's just gorgeous. All them Jersey Jack machines, they're just good looking.
Stunning.
It's like absolutely stunning. And I think I haven't played a Wizard of Oz actually. I've not played that one.
Me neither. But I wasn't allowed to play it. But I saw it. I thought, wow, I mean, amongst all the other machines, I thought, wow, that's. And I was with my missus at the time, and even she said, wow, that thing. She said, go and get that. Yeah, right. Yeah, cool. So I'll just go get that, shall I? Whatever it was, 12 grand machine or whatever it might be.
12.5 grand, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I don't think so. Anyway. Moving on to Stranger Things, how you like that? How you finding that?
Yeah, so that one was one I did play before I bought actually. So the Hobbit I bought blind, the Game of Thrones I bought blind, and Tron I bought blind. Star Wars, like a story I've played before, and Stranger Things I've played before as well. So I've been to Chief Coffee and played it. Massive fan of the show, loved the show. I think if you grew up in the 80s and watched E.T. and
yeah, sure,
things like that, you're gonna love it. Played it in Chief, wasn't blown away, to be honest. I think it's on very early code, and it just seemed to me like a bit of a one-trick pony, with the Demigorgon dropping down. And I was on location, so it's always hard to get to know the rules and stuff anyway, but I wasn't blown away by it. Went to, and then I think the second time I went, I've been to 3 or 4 times, sorry. Then I was looking for my next new in-box. I'd had some cash, the Hobbit had gone. I just had Star Wars here. He was getting a bit lonely, so he needed a buddy to keep him company. So I was looking at Turtles, and Chief Coffee had got Turtles in as well. So I'd gone down there with a mate, and I thought to myself, okay, I'm probably today going to decide between Stranger Things and Turtles. And then the other one I was looking at was Hot Wheels, actually, but I couldn't find that anywhere. And I was a little bit, wary about buying that new in-box just because I hadn't heard much about it. So anyway, it was between those two, basically. Went down to Chief Coffee, played Turtles, loved the theme and the integration, the colours, but really underwhelmed with the game. And then Stranger Things was on a bit of a later code. The code seemed to really push that game on, from what I can tell. And just loved it. And then just ordered Stranger Things. So that come, and it's a great machine, but it needs. I don't know, because you've had one as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
My one needed some dialing in on the thing, and it's just. The Demigorgon ramp and things, but once you got it dialed in, it's like, I mean, it is an amazing game. My friends love it. It's so smooth. If you played it, it's just so easy as well. It's like complex but easy to follow. So it's what you do. What you doing, but whether you can do it or not is that's a level of skill.
Yeah. I think to be fair, looking at it, it has got that. And I don't mean in terms of the main shot being in the middle or anything. I mean in terms of the modes and how it's very much like Attack from Mars, how they're sort of in the middle of the playfield and they light up and it counts out. You can see the end, if you know what I mean. You can look at it and you can think, oh, actually, I could get there at some point. So I think from that aspect, it's very good. There's a number of things I didn't like about it, which I won't particularly go into now, really. But I found it a very brutal game. I found it a very, very hard game. But when it's going up those ramps and looping round the rest of it, I think it's absolutely great. I don't sort of like the way the ball locks in that sort of left shot to the left of the targets, and also the pop bumpers. I find that thing a little bit odd where it goes round there. Yeah, that orbit shot, the left orbit shot, is fantastic. I think it's probably the best orbit shot that I've played.
100% agree with that. It's lovely when it goes up the ramp.
Yeah,
you feed the right flipper. It's lovely. It really is nice. But I agree with you on some of those points. The ramps are really tight. I find some of the bit of the pop bumpers, it seems a bit pointless. It hardly stays up there for any length of time. Yeah. But I mean, I've got the UV kit fitted. I mean, when it goes into the UV mode, it's like something else. I mean, I've got to be honest. Of all the games I've played, it's the most atmospheric game. I don't know if you noticed, there's no spotlights on it at all. 0 spotlights. So it's all just lit with just the inserts, and it's just so atmospheric. I really like the game. Whether that's a keeper for me, I don't know at this stage, because I'm kind of limited on space here again. When with Mandalorian coming, I would imagine it probably will get moved on at some point, but I don't feel like I'm ready to do that just yet. So.
No. I mean, the atmosphere is great. There's only 2 things I'll switch the lights off for, John, and playing Stranger Things Pinball is certainly one of them, mate. I think you're going to be inundated now, by the way. People saying, hold on.
Especially once I've dialed it and got the UV kit,
Yeah, absolutely. No, but it is absolutely fantastic. And there is a lot to like about the machine. And even I've considered it again, but I thought, no, don't, mate, because it was annoying me. And I just not at that. I said that level yet. I'm never going to be at that level, and I think I just got to understand where I am with things.
I know what you mean. I mean, I'm not a great player. I mean, my top score on there at the moment is pretty poor compared to everyone else's. I'm at about 380 mil, something like that. You know, it's not anywhere near. I mean, people are banging in 4 billion on it. You know.
I
wish. I mean, I just don't play enough, really. But I wish I was a better player as well. So I'm enjoying it, and it's a good game for player. That's what I would say. It's a good multiplayer game. But
I accidentally did a drop catch last night.
Oh wow!
I know. I thought, how did I do that? Couldn't do it again. No, absolutely. Right, so before we depart, you go into Pinfest.
I'm going to try and get up there for the Saturday. It's just not a great weekend for me normally. That bank holiday weekend, we're normally doing something here with the family, but I'm going to try and get up for the Saturday for a day. I mean, the lineup's unbelievable. I mean, what Big Phil's put together, and the community and all the machines. I think hats off to everyone involved. Really, it's fantastic to see so many people taking so many really decent machines. So I think it's great. So I'm going to try and get up there for the Saturday if I can, and play some pinball and chat some more pinball, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I think there'll be a lot of chatting pinball going on, a lot of playing pinball. And just before I let you go, John, what have you got a dream machine?
I've probably already got it in Star Wars.
Yeah, okay, it is Star Wars.
To be honest, actually, one more. I mean, I'm a big Harry Potter fan. That would probably wouldn't top Star Wars, but it'd be up there. So if Stern ever got hold of the IP for that, or anyone really, I think I could, I could see that getting into collection, once that was released. But if you ask me, what would I want? I want a Star Wars, and I've got one. So so I think I'm from that.
Well, Do you know what? I've got to say, there's two things I've learned about you. Number one, you are a theme guy. If you're not interested in theme, you're discounting the pinball. And even though no one's ever made a Harry Potter, you want a Harry Potter. The other thing that was really noticeable was that you said the same thing for both those games, which was Star Wars and Stranger Things, which is you weren't impressed the first time you played them. Then you played them a bit more, and you played them a bit more, and you played them a bit more, and then you sort of grew to love them. And I learned now. I'm gonna save the story until I bring Neil on, but I learned that story about dismissing a pinball machine too early from an experience with Neil, certainly. So I
think it's really important. Yeah, I think it's a really good point. That's what I'd say to anyone: just try and get out and play it again and again, really, because it's. I mean, as well, it's so hard on location. You know, wherever you are, you know, even if you're in a pub or an arcade or whatever, or a dedicated pinball place, it's still so hard to, or even someone's house. You know, it's hard to. Just to get to know something, so it's like multiple times, and also also the code's like really important as well. You know, it's if you're playing a machine that's just come out, the chances are the code's not going to be fully fleshed out yet. You know, and I think that's definitely was the case with like Hobbit, and I know some of the, not from me, but some of the guys who picked up the early ones saying the code was lacking, and then definitely for Stranger Things for me, the code was terrible when I first played it, but I think it's a really good take-home message. You know, try and play as much as you can, really. But it's No, it really is. Sorry, John has just said, can you show some gameplay? I can't because we're doing it live, John. I'm afraid. Otherwise, I would. But certainly when I do non-live ones, I'm more than happy to edit gameplay in there. And that's why, to be fair, I want to play and archive as many games as possible. So when we're doing stuff like this and someone speaks about a shot, I've got a video of that shot, or I've got a video of that game, or this, that, and the other, so as we can sort of show the game off a little bit. John, thanks very much for joining me, mate. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I'll come with Pinfest, and then I'll get your number. So just pop over when you want. I'll get Mandalorian should be in about 2 weeks. So I think there's Pinfest, I believe.
Yeah, Chris has taken one down there, I believe. Phil is supplying one. Maybe there's a couple down there, so that's going to be interesting. But you can't beat. I've got to say, to be honest, John, like when your Tron mates come over, you can't actually beat just actually having a couple of hours on one and a bit of peace and quiet to almost focus on it and learn a few of the rules. I think it's always hard when when you've got a limited time on a machine. Particularly, it's so complicated now. The machines. Yeah,
exactly. But at Pinfest, what is there going to be? Probably close to 100 machines. I think I saw on the thread. So it's, you're going to want to go around and play a lot as well. It's.
I can't wait. Honestly, I can't wait. And because
you're up there for all 3 days, or you?
Oh, I think so. I think so. Yeah. I mean, I'm going there on the Thursday night, or Thursday, whatever Thursday. I'm staying over Thursday night, so maybe Thursday afternoon get the machine in there, help get set up, and then so I'll be there for the Friday to whatever. So yeah, hopefully, speak to a few people, play some games, get some footage of some games, and maybe do a little bit of window shopping or something. I think there'll be a bit of that going on from everyone. Someone's taking 15 games to sell or something.
Yeah, I saw that on there today. I think they're to be confirmed what the games are, but that's interesting. I think, I think it's probably a good way to sell games. People come play, take it home.
That's not for sale. I'll just say that now. That is not for sale. Done. Actually, I think it might have overtaken Elvira as my favourite game, but don't
really?
tell
them. Yeah, I've played that too. I like it. It's a good game. Yeah,
it's right. It's right. Pay by numbers pinball. That's what I want. John, thank you I'm going to let you go now, mate. Thank you for joining me, and thank you at short notice as well. I appreciate it, mate.
That's right. That's fine. Yeah, thanks very much, Chris. I'll speak to you soon.
See you soon, mate. Bye-bye. John there. Fantastic. Thank you very much to John, and thanks for everybody for joining, particularly in the live chat there. I really enjoyed doing this. So it is Wayne Russell, who is, it's just funny, I see his avatar there, and to me it's Whole Shark from the forum. Looking forward to Godzilla. I really am, because I think Wayne is going to be, it is Keith Elwyn, but I think he's going to be saving up a few tricks for this. I always assume everybody's got a sort of competitive nature, really, and I just wonder if he is going to be looking at what's happened with JJP and be thinking, hold on a second, and possibly looking at their budget and the amount that they've spent on things, and maybe thinking, hold on a second, I'm gonna show you a machine here and look into top that. Even though the theme is not comparable, even though one's a music theme and all the rest, I just think he's gonna have something special coming up for this one. So this should be really interesting. What do I know? Not a lot, but hey ho, there you go. Listen, thanks for everybody for joining in there. I know there's loads of comments there, which I'm absolutely astounded, to be honest. Ryan, thank you very much, mate. Don't go buying a pinball machine. Speak to us first, mate. Speak to us first, and we'll make sure you don't go and waste your money. There you go. Mark played Cactus Canyon first time at Chief. Thank you everybody for joining in. 2 or 3. Let's say 2 more in the coming week. So I've got loads of people lined up, at least 10 people lined up. Really looking forward to it. I'll catch up with you very, very soon. Thanks for your patience. Thank you once again to John. That's brilliant, mate. I really enjoyed. Where he's back? There's like a little green room basically back there, and he's back in the green room. I'm going to say goodbye to you now. That's the end slate. Got to pop in a subscribe link. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Thumbs up for a like. Helps the channel grow. That'd be absolutely magnificent. I will look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. Thank you very much.